These are
Are you? Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year to everyone. Members on the council, people in the audience, department heads. Happy New Year, and many more. Thank you. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Terry?
Present.
Councilman Acosta?
Present.
Councilman Figueroa?
Present.
Councilwoman Fonseca? Councilman Jose?
present.
Councilwoman Rivera? Councilman Solano?
Present.
We have four present.
And Happy New Year, Maria.
Thank you.
Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we start, I'm looking for a motion to move the minutes of the meeting, of the previous meetings, approval of records, to Roman numeral 7H, where it presently is.
I make a motion to move the minutes, sir.
I have a motion by Councilman Solano,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Figueroa and Councilwoman Rivera. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Chair votes aye. Ayes have it. Also, I'd like to move item 7C, which is a hearing and consideration of agreement between the City of Central Falls and the fraternal or police who are currently here. So looking for a motion to move that up right now, which would be Roman numeral 7, letter C. I have a motion by Councilwoman Rivera, seconded by Councilman Solano. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Nays, ayes have it. So with that, Sonia?
Hearing and consideration of the agreement between the City of Central Falls and the Fraternal Order Police Lodge 2. You have on your seat at your desk the agreement.
And I think there was one minor change, correct?
Yes, Mr. President, the agreement the council voted on had a clerical error. It had a longevity table under 6 years, and it was negotiated, and it was actually in the CBA as under 5 years. I rendered the legal opinion that it had to be brought back to the council to correct the clerical error, just so that it was in the public record. And so what before you is that correction of the clerical error from 6 years to 5 years.
Anyone have questions on what Matt just explained?
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion by Councilman Azir to approve the change.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Solano. Any discussion? Hearing none seen, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Nays? Hearing none, seeing none? Ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you.
Public comment, Mr. President?
Mhm.
Lorraine Savard.
Lorraine Savard, 76 Emmett Street, Central Falls. I just have two things to say. I've recently been involved in the opposition to the transfer station that is proposed for Pawtucket. Smithfield Avenue, all the way down just before you get to the restaurant. Cello's Restaurant. There's a, you can turn to get onto to 95. Providence has already, or at least the city councilor from Providence for that area, even though it's in Pawtucket, Providence city councilors have come out against it. North Providence has also come against it, or written a resolution to their council in opposition, and also going to send it to Pawtucket. And I was just hoping that Central Falls, being downwind from 2,000 ton, supposedly is going to be encased in a building right near the train tracks. Sure, in future years, there's going to be whatever, turn off from the track to pick up trash. And I can foresee this being trash central of Rhode Island. You know, that we're going to have a problem. And the people in Fairlawn, I guess that's where this is going to be situated, are quite concerned, all right? And I'm hoping that one of the city council members here, you have friends in Pawtucket who are opposed to this, write a resolution, as we do, as they do, as the councils do in neighboring cities. That's my first thing. And then my second thing, I guess I should ask, I just want to know who the tree warden was last year and the year before.
I can answer, it's the same gentleman that's up for reappointment.
Oh,
And
okay.
I can vouch for him, done a fantastic job.
All right, I just thought you...
Yeah, the proof is out there, he's done a fantastic.
All right.
He's up for reappointment tonight, I believe. Jonathan?
Yes.
Could you just speak a little bit more? This is actually the first I hear of this Pawtucket issue. So can you speak a little more to what the overall concern is and how it's been managed? Like, was it a state issue
No,
that
it's
is
a
now being pushed up to the town issue?
Pawtucket.
Right.
It's
but
a
is-
private
was it
concern who...
Private concern?
Private
Okay.
concern. It's not part of solid waste management or anything like that. It's a private concern who, I guess there's already a transfer station around Lorraine Mill in Pawtucket, but that is being run by the man who now wants to make this other place bigger, better. What questions you have? He wants to build it, he's saying that it's going to be contained in the building with, and it's a transfer station. It's not an incinerator, it's not a dump. It's, the trash is going to be brought to the facility, separated, put into this container and that container and that container. Then I believe to be put on, I'm not sure the specifics, but the people are up in arms. Number one, the traffic that's going to generate in that corner. I know it's not Central Falls, but I know I was there the other night. It's not even there yet, and I was there the other night going to the restaurant, and I almost got killed crossing that street. You know, can you imagine now, even if they come off 95, they might come off 146 coming down, it's just going to be awful. Any other questions you might?
Lorraine, I have a quick question. Has the city of Pawtucket, the council, the mayor,
The mayor is for it.
no, have they acted upon it yet? What stage is this in? Is this down the road? Is this 2018, 2020?
Well, it's come to light, and, you know, the
Have you been
process-
before the city council in
No,
Pawtucket?
I had another.
Well, I think that would be a starting,
Me?
sure.
Oh.
They're the ones that
I
are,
had another thing that night, so,
okay, well, I'm just saying, they're putting this project,
no, this is
Out there.
the mayor is.
okay, well, have you been to their council meetings, or?
I've been to the meetings.
I'm just curious what stage it's in. I mean,
It's not a done deal yet, I know that. I know that, because the opposition is still strong. You know, I am concerned, for the people
I
of
just don't want
Pawtucket.
to, I don't want to interrupt, I just don't want to put the cart before the horse. We don't even know the state. Have they, city of Pawtucket approved it yet? These are the steps for,
I wish I knew the name of the company.
well, see, these are the things we have to know. I
I'm
mean,
not-
yeah. But I personally appreciate, I didn't know much about it, to be honest, and I still
All right.
don't.
I'm not sure where you would go. I guess call the council, call the,
Well, I would go before, the City of Pawtucket, I'm sure is gonna have a number of hearings before.
well,
That's where I would go.
they had one hearing.
And you
And
missed it.
then there were opposition.
There's pro and cons, but I don't know much about it.
Okay.
But I thank you.
All right, well, it would be nice if you would talk to your counselors, your counselors to see, I'm sure they know more than I of what's going on, and hopefully support their cause against the mayor. Thank you.
Anyone else?
No, Mr. President.
Okay, next item.
Executive communications, consideration of appointment by Mayor James Diosa of Juan Pablo Restrepo of 115 Cross Street, the Central Falls Board of Canvassers and Registration.
Everyone have that in their packet. The gentleman's resume was in there also. Now, does anyone, are we down one member of the board? So this will fill that.
Mr. Chairman, can I just say I have known Juan for many years. He went to school with my children. He's a wonderful young man. I highly recommend him.
Anyone else? Is that a motion?
If we need a motion, I make a motion to
To
approve.
approve. Second. Have a motion and a second, that's basically approving the communication from the mayor appointing the gentleman to the Board of Canvassers.
Is he going in as a Democrat or Republican?
It's nonpartisan.
No. Is it
The elections are not, the gentleman, I don't know that's not an
Positions are
issue.
Democrat, no, there are. Positions are Democrat, Republican, and then a majority. So I'm not sure which position he is filling.
I'm sure it's a position of either a Democrat or a Republican that is no longer on the board, if I had to guess.
Can I ask that we find out for the next meeting? I'm just
Okay, but
curious.
we have a motion before us to approve this, the letter. I don't think politics will enter this, this is the Board of Canvassers.
It's an appointment.
With that, it's just a letter from the mayor. All those adopting the correspondence from the mayor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, nays, ayes have it. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I asked that the solicitor report back to us because the appointments are based on political parties.
And I'm sure the mayor knows that, and
And
I'm sure he's
if
filling a
the
position of
solicitor
either Democrat or
Could
Republican.
report back who is he filling and what position.
Thank you. Next item.
Department of Financial Reports.
So we see,
I have questions, Mr. Chairman.
I don't believe we have any financial, anybody here from
We
the
have
various departments.
city clerk here, her department. And I spoke to the finance director. She told me she was coming here to answer
She's here.
questions.
I can grab her.
Mr. Chairman, we received these as a matter of record, and each report is to be reviewed by the council or questioned. I have, in the last meeting, asked for a finance committee meeting or a report from the administration and also from the finance department. I do have questions of financial reports, Mr. Chairman, and I just do not receive them. I question them, and I would request to question them again, Mr. Chairman.
What specifically, what department, Tom? Just finance?
I'll start with the city clerk's office, Mr. Chairman. I requested in the past that to properly review the budget, we need a comparison. All we have is what revenue came in for that period. I've requested in the past, and I renew my request, that we have the budgeted amount, the prior year amount, and the last audited amount, and what was taken in from that period, from the budget to what we are in. There is no comparison here, Mr. Chairman. We cannot review except for how much revenue was taken in for the period of November 1st to November 30th. with no historical background to it. I request historical background, and I've done it in the past, and I'll renew my request that we have a comparison, Mr. Chairman, and be allowed to review that comparison and ask questions of this department or any other department with a comparison to review. Our responsibility on the council is a fiduciary responsibility. We cannot do our due diligence financially unless we're provided with the information. I ask that this be deferred and that it be corrected and returned to the council, Mr. Chairman. I make that a form of motion.
I believe, Finance, Mr. Lazier has a quick question for you.
No, but I was talking about the city clerk's office first, Mr. Chairman. That's what I'm discussing now. The city clerk's office, Mr. Chairman.
So you don't have any questions?
I do, but I first started with the city clerk's
She's here now,
office.
huh?
I began my questions in
So we
the
flip
city
flop.
clerk's office.
She's here.
So I reserve my right to come back to the city clerk's office, Mr. Chairman, and the other departments. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. I've been by a number of times to obtain certain information. Mr. Chairman, I came into the city finance office today to speak to the deputy director. In our package, we received a financial report which says July 2017 revenue and August 17 expense. But, Mr. Chairman, what we received is the August 31st revenue, and we received the expense of September 30th in our package. Not what was advertised. So I would defer that we be brought up to date.
Yeah, well, we noticed mistake on the agenda today, too late.
I know it's too late now, but we're asking to act on something that was not submitted. We are not receiving what we are acting on. So what I'm asking for to do on these is that we become current from the beginning of the fiscal year to present, up until December 31st at our next meeting. So we are current and we can discuss the financial matters in total, and we will have up-to-date figures. In your discussion today, you mentioned that you are still finalizing with the auditor,
Yes,
and the auditor hopefully may be done by the end of the month, or
no
somewhere.
question, it has to be.
It should have been done by December 31st. Did you request an extension?
Yes,
So an extension for how long?
till the end of January.
Till the end of the month. Is it possible to get financial information up to December 31st before our next meeting?
It depends. I'm in the middle of audit.
I,
Honestly, it really depends how, if I'm interrupted or something with the audit, I need to concentrate on this. As soon as
I
audit
totally-
will be financial for audit will be drafted, I can catch up definitely.
I
So
appreciate that.
I would say that the end of this month is a goal.
I appreciate that. I'm only asking because at every meeting I come, financial matters are a very important matter to me. And we are not given the financial data up to present. By ordinance or charter, we should be giving the previous months by the 15th. We are not.
Well, I promise you, when we will get the charter, it will change.
I appreciate that, so.
We are working
I'm-
towards improvements in my department right now, and I have a couple of people on FMLA. That's actually caused fall behind on this reporting and audit as well. So I think we are moving forward already.
I am not blaming you, I understand. During this budget process, we appropriated funds to hire a new finance director. Has a new finance director been hired? No, so we are, 6 months, we have not hired a finance director. The funds for that finance director are unexpended. It's put a burden on you and your department, but it's also put a burden on the financial review of the city council. I know Councilman Fonseca, I request budget hearings, I request budget meetings,
Well,
budget
I
workshops.
absolutely agree, I told you already. You can even come to my office, directly even to me, and tell Irina, I want to sit and discuss this, we can sit together. If you want someone in the city council to join us, that's absolutely fine. Someone has to be, if you want me to be in charge even this, I can put people together as well.
Unfortunately, you don't have the records available yet, as they've come in, they're not,
I will.
we hopefully can do that. But I request, Mr. Chairman, before the next meeting, or by the next meeting, we have a budget workshop to discuss at the meeting, a public meeting budget workshop to discuss this current operating budget, its revenue and its expenses. I requested that in written form in the past, Mr. Chairman. It has not been on the agenda. I request also that it be placed on the agenda again, and that you be able to provide
February,
whatever.
let's
up to
get together in February then and discuss everything that I have up to date.
I won't ask you any questions because it's not on the agenda. These items were not the ones that were sent. So I ask that we defer action on the finance department because those are not the ones that were submitted.
Which is Roman numeral 5. No, sir, thank you very much for coming up.
Council President, while we're on that note, could we schedule for the February meeting, the fourth Monday, a budget hearing? I think that'll give all of us enough time, right? For the budget hearing.
I don't think that's what the question is here. We can, I have no objection if that's what you want, but hopefully Irina will be up to date by then.
Right.
So the thing here tonight is that they're not up to date, they've been shorthanded for another couple of months, actually, almost 3 months, and that's the reason
More.
it's not up to date, whatever it is. Someone was out,
Be up to date for February.
yeah, that's right, she's already
For the fourth,
explained.
can we
Okay.
schedule that, the fourth Monday, to have the budget hearing? Because we haven't had the capital improvement budget, we haven't seen that. I think it's gonna be a couple of hours.
We can, I have no objection.
I support that, Mr. Chairman, too. I'll wait until the February meeting,
Okay.
but we should have financial information up to date by then.
Okay, so where we stand right now, we're looking for department financial reports to be approved, accepting B,
I'm still,
Roman numeral 5.
I'm still questioning the city clerks, Mr. Chairman.
There's no proof, it is so received.
I'm still, I have questions on the city clerk's one, Mr. Chairman. I started that until you
I
wanted me to.
understand that. Go ahead, Mr. Lazier.
I request that for the, and Madam Clerk, this is something I've been requesting in the past, I'll renew my request, that we have a comparison. That we have a comparison of the prior year, of the budgeted amount, of how much has been spent, and the variation between the two, so we can compare. This, I hate to go back, but this is a common practice in the past. Unfortunately, it is not a common practice now, and I wish it to become an open, transparent, and the figures that we are given, we can go back and compare. So I would ask that you resubmit this with those, let's say, requests.
That's the first time you're making the request of me, Mr.
No,
Lozea.
it's not.
So I can respond. The report you have is revenue. It has never been expenses. The finance department gives you expenses. So if you want a comparison, that has to be asked of Irina Gorman, and that's the report you get from the finance department. The city clerk's department, for as many years as I can go back, has only submitted revenue, which is what you're receiving. If comparisons could be made, that will take some time. It will take some work of our systems to get that, but if you really want it, but that has never been for as long as I have seen any reports from the city clerk, the report that you've received, but it can be worked on.
In due respect, Madam Clerk, I served as clerk for over 12 years. I was certified as a
Now,
international.
we're getting off a little bit.
I'm in discussion, Mr. Chairman.
Department financial
no,
report,
Mr. Chairman,
so
I'm not
received.
finished. Mr.
So
Chairman,
received.
Mr. Chairman,
So
I
received.
object to being shut off from questions
When you were-
or discussions.
Next item.
If you're not going to treat me as a member of the city council, Mr.
Next
Chairman,
item is the schedule of
They
bills,
received the reports. Mr.
hearing and
they are
consideration.
not received.
It is ordinance creating the vacant or abandoned commercial storefronts act. It is a second reading, Mr. President. And I will check for public hearing sign up.
I'll take both.
We do not have anyone sign up for public comment, Mr. President.
Everyone's familiar with this ordinance? This is the second reading, final passage.
So I have a question for the city clerk, or sorry, the city solicitor. This only applies to properties owned by individuals or corporations, LLCs, right? So what happens, say, to a property like a Sylvain that goes under foreclosure where the bank owns it and is allowed to let it sit looking blighted and unused? Because here it says any purpose other than solely for residential use. So that would mean that other spaces, including former manufacturing sites, would also count. But can you not go after a bank in the same way that you go after an individual?
Councilor, I'm not clear that I understand your question. If there's a manufacturing facility that went vacant, I would argue that that definition would fit that because it could be leased or rented for a purpose other than residential use. That's not really the intent of the ordinance. The intent is the commercial thoroughfares of the city, Broad Street, Dexter Street.
As on Broad Street,
That's true. Coming out of the nuisance task force, the issue was there are storefronts on commercial thoroughfares which places have left, and they've sort of left their signage up, they've left things in the window, and it makes the street look less pleasing to the eye. And the idea is that a landlord would have the responsibility to clean it up and to make sure that it was in conformity with all of the city rules.
right? And it seems like a small fish, but thinking about the big fish, particularly, like, we're gonna hear a license today for like the 7th business to open in that corner of Broad Street right before you cross over, and that's a huge space that looks like crap, where the landlord clearly isn't doing anything to improve it. So I'm wondering if this ordinance empowers the city to push their hand as well, or if it's really just a small fish situation.
I think under this definition, you would be able to go after that person.
Nice.
Anyone else? Looking for a
In
motion?
that case, motion to pass the ordinance creating the vacant or abandoned
Have a
commercial
motion by
storefront act.
Councilman Acosta, seconded by Councilwoman Von Seeker. Again, any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Councilman Ferry?
Yes.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fonseca?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilman Solano?
Yes.
Motion carries, Mr. President.
Thank you. Next item.
Councilman
There
Lucia.
is the
Yes.
next item. The next item is the ordinance creating the Central Falls Green and Complete Streets Initiative. It's the second reading, Mr. President. And we do have someone who signed up to speak? Ms. Sarah Mitchell?
Thank you, Council President and the City Council. I'm here on behalf of Rhode Island Bicycle Coalition. My name is Sarah Mitchell. I'm the board chair, and I'm just really excited that this has gotten this far. And I just want to say again that we are in full support of this measure, and are looking forward to seeing Central Falls become the first city in the entire state of Rhode Island to make green and complete streets a priority. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. I believe this is your second time. Thank you. You like this place, huh? Okay, with that, looking for a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Rivera, seconded by Councilman Solano and Councilwoman Fonseca. Any further discussion? Jonathan?
I have one. I know at the last meeting, there was a concern about section 32, 313 exceptions, subsection C, about the Director of Public Safety issuing a waiver and exemption. I was wondering if we could include a part there that the council would be notified if the Director of Public Safety were to issue an executive order. That way we would know, because all the other ones would have gone through us anyway. So this would prevent us being kind of caught off guard by an executive decision. How other people feel about it.
So you wanted to basically add on to that like an amendment?
I second that motion.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think the language could be some, let me see,
Yeah, I think that was discussed last
we can
time.
add to the end of that sentence, along with the notification to the city council at the next meeting, or, it essentially would be part of the executive communication that we receive anyway. You want to wordsmith that?
Councilman, I would propose that you would make a motion to amend section 32-13 subsection C to add after the last word safety, insert a comma, subject to notice to the city council within 2 business days.
Motion to amend is read by the city solicitor.
Second my amendment.
I can't.
So we have a motion on the floor and a second. I guess if Matt could
Did you get that?
reread that for the city clerk.
The motion is to amend subsection C so that the sentence would read in its totality, notwithstanding the provisions of subsection A, the Director of Public Safety may issue a waiver or an exception in the form of an executive order if application of the Green and Complete Streets Ordinance would be contrary to public safety, comma, with notice given to the City Council within 2 business days.
With notice.
So then we have to vote on the amendment
Yes.
first.
Yep. Okay.
Councilman Fair?
Yes.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fonseca?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilman Solano?
Yes.
The amendment passes, Mr. President.
Thank you. And now
And now it's
the
a-
completed ordinance. Yeah.
Councilman Lazia votes yes.
Motion to
So,
approve
would you like to amend
the
your
ordinance.
motion?
I already, that was the amendment.
Yeah, we passed the amendment.
Yeah.
Now we're looking for the totality of the ordinance now. With
That
the-
was made by, there was already a motion on the floor by Councilman Rivera.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
discussion.
Council-
We're on discussion.
That's right,
There was
correct.
an amendment, so
Right. So we want to
Councilwoman, would you like-
discuss the entire ordinance
would you
as
like to amend your
amended.
motion to approve as amended?
Amend my motion to approve as amended.
We have a motion by Councilman Rivera,
And it was seconded by.
second by Councilwoman Fonseca and Councilman Solano. Any further discussion?
I'm present at the meeting.
So basically, all we did is we amended that one section, and now we're approving the, as amended, basically. No further discussion, roll call vote?
Councilman Fair?
Yes.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fonseca?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rivera,
Yes.
Councilman Solano,
Yes.
the motion carries, Mr.
Mr.
President.
Chairman,
Thank you.
I wish to be recognized by being at the meeting. Wherever I sit, I vote to approve the motion, Mr. Chairman. And I wish my recordings of all my votes to be recorded as I've stated publicly.
It's kind of uncharted territory that was there, but I accept that explanation.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I got a question because I'm kind of confused. I do not know how these meetings go, if we as a city council should be seated here and participating in the meeting, or we should be away, then come just to say yes or no. I'm confused.
That's why I say it's uncharted territory, unless the city solicitor has an opinion on that.
Mr. President,
You're gonna get your steps in today.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to get my exercise. I do not wish to be not recognized. I will address all issues that are before me. Unfortunately, my recognition as a member of the city council should be recognized wherever I sit. And I make that request because I am not being recognized and I'm not being offered the same courtesies as other members of the council. So I wish to be recognized as a member of this meeting, Mr. Chairman, and I will participate.
Thank you. Well, you are still present, obviously, so. You haven't gone AWOL yet, you're still present, so. Madam Clerk?
Ordinance amending chapter 30, solid waste, article 1 in general.
So introduced.
Next is a resolution opposing the FCC's decision on net neutrality and calling for a congressional resolution to overturn the decision. This is introduced by Councilman Acosta.
And everyone has received it. Have you read it? Is there any questions on it? or- Oh, that's true.
I just know that this is something that affects everyone who uses
Mhm.
internet. So I think it's-
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Councilwoman Pansy, seconded by Councilwoman Rivera. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I
Chair votes aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Next item.
Next item is resolution of Central Falls City Council condolences and congratulations.
And you have that
We
list.
have a list submitted by Councilman Mosaic this afternoon, and I can read the names. Congratulations of Gary Furtado, CEO of Navigan Credit Union, on being a member since 1978, and then president and CEO since 1987. Resolution congratulating Norma Jean Barber on her 75th birthday. Resolution congratulating Eleanor Thomas on her 89th birthday. Resolution congratulating Central Falls Police Chief Colonel James Mendoza on his installation as president of the Rhode Island Police Chiefs Association on January 20th. And resolution congratulating Central Falls resident Mary Gobea Goes on her 97th birthday. Resolution congratulating Diane Lozea on her 60th birthday.
And I think we
And
have,
there's one more before we. And then resolution congratulating Mary Massior, I believe. I apologize if I misspoke. It's correct. On her 90th birthday. And resolution congratulating Rosemary Benoit Bennett on her 79th birthday. And those are the congratulatory resolutions.
Is the condolences also?
condolences.
I was going to do them separately. We've been taking them separately.
Okay, motion to approve
I move to
the
approve.
congratulatory resolutions. We have a motion by Councilwoman Fonseca, second by Councilman Solano to approve as read. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Nays, hearing none, seeing none. So
No.
approved. Thank you.
We have two resolutions of condolences. The one submitted by Councilman Lozay is condolences to the family of Albert Kishfi, who passed away on December 26, 2017. And the one submitted by Councilman Ferry to the family of Fred Dora. This is the brother of Elaine Partridge, Director of Public Works and Code Enforcement, who passed away on December 29.
Ready for motion?
Move to approve.
Motion approved by Councilman Fonseca, seconded by Councilman Figueroa and Councilman Nazir. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Nays, ayes have it. Thank you.
New business, the consideration of tax abatements submitted by the tax assessor. We have the two.
Good evening, Council. In your packet, you should have the list of abatements that my office has put before you, requesting your approval this evening. For point of clarification, the abatement for the Pawtucket Central Falls Development Corporation, on your sheet it says regarding 204 Broad Street, regarding the house that was torn down, at the location of the house itself. It was 53 Fletcher Street. That was actually torn down in 2016 so that the redevelopment, the Central Falls Redevelopment Corporation should have only been built for the land. So that is the reason for that substantial abatement. But I'm here to answer any questions on any others that you might have. I did include, as per requested last meeting, a balance due column, which should be on the reports.
Thank you. Any questions on the abatements?
Yes, I do have one question.
Sure.
Councilman?
Property owner Malkowski Richard is stated in 2014, 15, and 16. And then, I don't understand that 2000 NIS. And
In other words, we attempt to collect past due tax bills, both real estate and motor vehicle. There are cases where we, subsequent to sending the bills out, we find out that the person has been deceased and his property has been put into an estate or something like that, or the motor vehicle was disposed of and we did not find out until a later date. In this case, the taxpayer died, and because of the reason that he died and the vehicle is no longer in his name, he should not have been billed. So therefore, I'm abating, or I'm recommending that we abate those particular bills. They do go back quite a way, but procedurally, that is the way I have to do it.
thank you.
Anyone else? Looking for a motion to approve the abatements collectively?
So,
Okay.
Have a motion
Second.
by Councilman Figueroa, second by Councilman Solano. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Nays, ayes have it, so approved. Thank you, Mr. Bagley.
Thank you, Council.
City Council sitting as a Board of License Commissioners, consideration petition of license. We have, first one is a transfer for El Rancho Restaurant, no owner. The owners are not here, neither are they for the first three, there's only the fourth for the Donna General. But I can go through that next time.
Okay, before we table the first three, we'll take those that are here and see if the others show up.
So it would be the tobacco license for Dolgen Rhode Island LLC. DBA Dollar General for the property.
Good evening. So,
Yeah.
How many licenses do we have?
16,
How many so we have
3.
3 to give?
Correct.
Okay. So we had 17 and then last month, we cut the one off of the transfer.
Right. That was a question I think everybody had on their mind. Was there any left? Hi,
How you doing?
we did okay. I thought about 6:30 we
Yeah.
took the licenses. All your stores sell tobacco, right? All the dollar stores?
Yes, sir.
Any questions of the applicant? I believe it's for the dollar store. Any questions? And we do have 3 available, correct? I don't believe there's any schools in the area of that facility. Thanks, that's close. The building's there, I guess the no count of the building.
Hold on, Noel. Like the back street, for instance.
Well, good luck, 'cause the other competition is applying for license today from across the street. Alright, motion to approve the license for the Dollar General store.
Motion by Councilman Acosta to approve the tobacco license, second by Councilwoman Rivera. Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Councilman Ferry?
Yes.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes?
Councilman Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilman Fonseca?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rivera? Councilman Lozay?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilman Solano?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Best of luck, and I assume you're gonna have like the age on it, it's 18.
Yes, definitely will sign.
Excuse me.
It's
The age is
21, it was
21.
18. So if you have 18 now, that's what they're gonna say, you better.
We have updated.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you for coming here today.
No problem.
I don't know if you're aware, but we had several changes to our tobacco ordinance, including where 21, you have to be 21 to buy tobacco in Central Falls. No flavored tobacco, no, buy 2, get 1 free deals, none of that. So I just wanted to keep you posted because the police do checks, quarterly checks, so,
Okay, I appreciate it. I'm the store manager over there and we'll uphold the law.
thank you.
Thank you, best of luck. I meant to say. Next item.
Mr. President, would you like to consider the other licenses?
Yes.
Okay, so Class A restaurant transfer of El Rancho.
And no one's here, correct?
No.
But it's just a transfer, yeah. There's all the necessary
For
paperwork.
everyone who's here, they've met all the requirements. Yes.
Okay.
Everyone's listed.
Yes, sir. Question with Rancho, we don't see the emergency contact.
I purposely deleted those so they won't go on the public record. If you need to know that, I can tell you to that.
So you're gonna do that for.
Yes, there's really no reason to be putting people's names and phone numbers on that, unless you really know. That was my decision.
Alright, motion to approve the business license for El Rancho, the transfer, excuse me.
A motion on the floor by Councilman Acosta to approve the Class A restaurant transfer. Seconded by Councilman Solano. Any further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Ferry?
Yes.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes?
Councilman Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fonseca?
Yes.
Councilman Lozay?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilman Solano?
Yes.
Motion carries. JKM Enterprise, this is a late renewal. of
Yeah, I
their
was just
last
gonna
year.
say, yeah, I noticed.
The next two are late renewals.
I was gonna ask, just as a procedure, does that mean they paid the late fee?
They won't pay the late fee, yes.
Okay, that's my only concern.
Yes.
That's unusual for them.
But they
isn't it?
don't pay the
No.
late fee as when they're renewing it? Don't they have to pay it right
In
at
order
that
to get
time?
the license, they'll have to pay the late fee.
Okay, so
Yes.
Oh, so you gotta like come pick it up and?
Yes,
No.
yeah. Mhm.
Is
there But-
only one late fee or if they keep extending
Yeah.
There's one flat late fee. It's a different amount. For these licenses, it's $50. For the tobacco, for the liquor licenses, is $500.
We can up the,
I know, so how much time do they have before they, like, we say, okay, you have to go to business?
They were closed for a day or so.
So I think what Maria's doing, so it doesn't, so at this point, it doesn't matter whether a month late, 2 months, it's still going to be just that
Yes.
one rate,
As
$50.
the ordinance is written at the moment, yes, it's a one flat fee for submitting their renewal
Right.
rate.
Okay.
we can add
Something to
that.
think
There are
about.
60, 90, and a $90.
Yeah, something of that
second
nature, yeah.
right? Did this, did that.
The 90 is the max anyway.
This one they haven't done
Yeah.
yet. They came up here and they go back.
There's no coming back after that.
So they're
Alright, motion to approve the Lighthouse Laundromat, business license renewal.
Second by
So this is yes?
Councilman Acosta, second by Councilman Fonseca and Councilman Spano. Any further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Councilman Acosta,
Yes.
Councilman Figueroa,
Yes.
Councilman Fonseca,
Yes.
Councilman Lozada,
Yes.
Councilman Rivera,
Yes.
Councilman Solano.
Yes.
Motion carries, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Next one is also a late renewal for Sunny Hill Farms on Dexter Street, 364 Dexter Street.
Same thing, just a matter
Correct.
of getting rid of. They have a history also. So.
I move to approve.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, under discussion.
Second.
Motion approved by Councilman Fonseca, second by Councilman Acosta. Now under discussion, Franklin?
No, I just was gonna make a motion.
Oh, to approve.
The day still same thing.
Same thing.
It's the late.
It's late, yeah. It's late.
Yeah.
No discussion, hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Councilman Acosta,
Yes.
Councilman Figueroa,
Yes.
Councilman Fonseca,
Yes.
Councilman Lozada,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rivera,
Yes.
Councilman Solano.
Yes.
Motion carries, Mr. President. And the last one is the tobacco license for LR Food Mart.
Are they here?
There.
That's the whole check in place.
Yeah. Well, It's your pleasure. If you want to act on it tonight, I guess we can. If you have questions of the applicant, we can table it.
Motion to table.
Table? Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Solano to table, second by Councilwoman Fonseca. All those in favor of the table, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Nay? I didn't get a total voice. Okay, Jonathan, either way. Which, so table. Would you say present?
Yeah, that's,
I didn't hear anything.
I'm sorry, Councilman Acosta, did you vote present?
No, he did he?
Yeah, I didn't vote at all.
Yeah.
He voted here. Next item.
Sorry. My apologies.
You ready for the session?
Hearing consideration of claims. You wanna-
Yeah, I guess if you want to fill in, or Matt, on what happened, apparently they can't make it here. The people putting the claim in, correct? And they're looking to do it next February. I mean, in February's meeting.
So they just want a table essentially?
Motion to continue.
Yeah, they want a continuance.
Okay, motion to continue the executive session?
Motion by
It would be the consideration of the claim.
consideration of the claim. We're not
Motion to
saying-
continue the consideration of the claim?
Good. Moved by Councilman Acosta, second by Councilman Fonseca to do this claim in February. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Chair votes aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Consideration of the appointment of tree warden, Matthew C. Largess. And this is reappointment, and it would expire January 1st, 2019.
It's straightforward, it's just a renewal. What I've seen around the city and what I've seen in this gentleman in action, we can't ask for much better tree warden. He's good, he really is. I can go. A motion by Councilman Solano to approve, second by Councilwoman Fonseca. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Nays? Ayes have it.
Consideration of petition by National Grid and Verizon for permission for a joint pole location on Higginson Avenue.
The motion by Councilwoman Fonseca to approve.
Second.
We have a second by Councilman Solano under discussion.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the petition is in my ward.
Yes.
I do not have a problem with it. I also move to approve it. I second.
Okay. Anyone else on the discussion? It's fairly routine. National Grid knows what they're doing and why they need an extra pole or two. So with that, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Nays? Ayes have it. So approved.
Consideration of 2018 City Council meeting schedule.
Has everyone looked at the schedule? I think it's similar to this past year with the asterisk, which means if we need a second meeting in a month.
Mr. Chairman.
What is it?
Mr. Chairman, I would ask that we move to amend it to eliminate the January 22nd meeting date.
22nd?
That's only if you need it.
I know.
Is that the one, the asterisk?
Yes, but that is also in conflict with the Navigate Credit Union annual meeting. And since there is nothing on the agenda now, if we need another meeting, it could be called by the chair on another night.
No, it's optional now anyway, so whatever.
I make that as requested. That's okay.
Anyone else?
Yeah. So the budget's due in June, right?
Correct.
Approved, right. And so would it make sense, and you know, I'm willing to talk to the department heads and stuff, but from now, schedule an additional meeting in June or in May, depending on what the work schedule is, to make sure we get it on time, and so we're not doing it, you know, that day, we're deciding when the next one is. We know it's gonna take us at least 2, probably more. So let's just schedule it now. And then I'm game for whatever, but I just would love to have
So
it.
this is in addition to what the department heads, in other words, we're gonna get a schedule from to talk to each department head anyway, separate from the council meetings, like a workshop like they did in the past.
Yeah, I'm asking to have
You're
that
asking-
schedule now.
Yeah, have the schedule now, and even for the public, because before, you know, they got 2 looks at the budget essentially. And then we were scrambling to even, you know, meet. So if we could have that now, they would know when those workshops are gonna be.
Anyone have a calendar in front of them? The dates?
Or if we can
Or you wanna,
have them for next meeting.
we can review it for the next meeting.
So, yes, absolutely. So
so we can have
we
that
have
ready.
to, by law, submit a annual calendar, but it could be amended. So
Okay.
that this is.
We could
minimum
approve
that we-
this tonight and amend it.
I would like to be able to submit that to the state.
Okay.
And yeah, just to be, again, understanding
That
and
makes
supportive of the department heads, they can propose the dates if they
Right.
can. If that would make it easier, so that at next meeting, we can approve those dates that they have, based on whatever time they usually see as the need for change, right? So if they need a week in between meetings to make changes, 2 weeks, whatever, they can do that, and then we have the dates, based on backwards planning from the due date, which I guess is June 30th. Yeah.
Okay, with that, I guess let's put.
Could we make that Monday, February 26th a permanent meeting?
That was from the beginning, right? That was the budget thing conversation.
February 26th, can we make that a permanent meeting, not the asterisk?
Sure. So you want to scratch the asterisk?
I second.
26?
Second amendment.
Okay.
Let's see that, so that's, you know, okay, with that, we have one change, you,
I'm sorry, I can't believe it. Is this, we're talking about the meeting minutes?
No, the
no,
meeting
this
is
is, okay,
No,
coming up.
yeah, sorry.
So you would put the cart before the horse, or the horse before the cart.
There's the meeting.
Yeah, so basically, the only change is going to be the 26th, we're going to strike the asterisk,
The
and,
26th of February?
yes, that'll be permanent.
What about the Monday, January 22nd as Councilman Lasea request?
That's a good point.
Do you need it?
That's coming up, correct?
Usually it would be at this meeting that the council would
Oh, the
decide.
22nd
Of this
of
month.
January, no, that's,
So
we
2
just
weeks
keep
from
the
now.
asterisk, yeah, there's,
2 weeks from now, we're
may,
gonna meet.
may not be needed,
Yeah, okay.
there's not much, I don't think, coming up. So the only change will be that February, and Sonia will submit it to the Secretary of State, and then the changes that Jonathan asked for when it comes to budget time, we can amend the calendar that's going to be presented probably tomorrow or the day after.
So we have to make a motion to approve as amended? As
Yes, correct. Motion by Councilman Solano to approve the minutes as amended.
Second.
Second by
Cut the
Councilman
minutes, schedule.
Seeker and Councilman Lazare. Okay, say minutes. And Hugo's fault.
You guys love these minutes.
Hugo,
I was reading the minutes.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Nays, ayes have it. And we're looking to amend, to approve the schedule as amended.
Motion to approve as amended, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Lazare and Councilwoman Seeker and Councilman Solano. Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Nays, ayes have it. Here's your schedule.
Now we have the meeting minutes of 2 meetings in December 11th, December 18th. Mr. President, if I could just point out, there's a small amendment on the December 11th, page 5 of 6. The vote, Councilman Lazare voted present, so the vote should have been 6-1-0. And I meant 7-0.
Excuse me, and I also vote no, that's why I was confused. I was reading the minutes, so I vote no and then.
Yeah.
The same,
Yeah.
yeah.
we need
So
to-
6-1.
It's not
Just the
6,
changes.
it's not 6-1-1.
He's just looking for attention.
Oh,
It's not 6-1-1.
5-1.
5-1. And the minutes? What's your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I also move to amend.
To amend or make a correction that's in front of us?
Well, I'll question, Mr. Chairman, as I have in the past, I'll renew my request. The minutes are incomplete. They do not completely reflect the actions taken and the discussions made at that meeting. I ask that they be sent back to be reviewed and amended and resubmitted. There are many instances in this where comments were made by me are not reflected in the minutes, Mr. Chairman. They're not reflected in the minutes are not correct.
That in the form of a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it's a formal motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Lazare to basically not approve the minutes tonight, send them back. Do we have a second? Hearing none, seeing none, the motion dies. Do we have another motion on the floor?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman,
Looking for a motion to approve the minutes
Mr.
before us.
Chairman,
I have a motion by Councilwoman Fonseca.
I move to approve the meeting minutes for the December 11th meeting with the amendment in B, City Council sitting as Board of License Commissioners, Section 2, to include the motion carried 5-1-1.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Fonseca, seconded by Councilman Acosta to amend the minutes that are before us to reflect the actual vote that evening. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Mr. Acosta, you have a discussion?
Questioning
The vote was 5-1 present.
5, 6, 8, 5, 6.
What was the subsection again?
By B, 2.
Page 5, B2.
Before it was 7.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So the corrected version is 5-1-1. All those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
aye.
Chair votes aye. Nays, ayes have it. Now looking for approval as amended of the
Motion to approve as amended.
motion by Councilman Solano to approve the minutes before us. Second by Councilman Rivera and Councilman Figueroa. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Nays?
Nay.
1 nay. Minutes are approved.
Meeting minutes of December 18th. Mr. President.
What's your pleasure?
I move to approve.
Motion by Councilman Fonseca to approve.
Oh, actually, I have to withdraw. I didn't think so, maybe? No. Oh, I withdraw my motion.
Mr. Chairman, I ask that these minutes be tabled and the recording be reviewed to accurately reflect the discussion at the meeting, including comments made by the council members. I'll make that in the form of a motion, Mr. Chairman. These minutes, in my opinion, are incomplete, and we continually to act on not representative minutes of a meeting with council members' comments excluded. Principally mine, Mr. Chairman, but all council members. I move that these be tabled.
We have a motion to table the minutes. Is there a second? Hearing none, seeing none, motion dies. Looking for a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I ask for a motion to reject.
We have a motion to reject. What's the date? We have no second. Seeing none, hearing none. Motion to approve. Motion to approve the minutes. What's the date on the second one?
December 18th.
December 18th. We have a motion by Councilwoman Rivera,
Second.
second by Councilman Figueroa. Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Chair votes aye. Nays?
Nay.
Ayes have it. So approved. Thank you.
Put in welfare, Mr. President.
Mr. President.
On the good welfare. I would like to congratulate Elaine Fetich on the storm that we have on Friday. They did a great job. So hailing the her staff really worked very hard to clean the city, and congratulations for that.
That's good. Anyone else? Jonathan?
I was just informed by Mr. Giraldo that this Wednesday at Central Falls High School at 6 p.m. there will be a Martin Luther King Day celebration. So anybody interested in attending can go there. Again, it's Wednesday, 6 p.m. at the high school.
I'm just gonna say, when's the wrestling match? It was Sunday? How'd you make it out?
Good. We have another one actually tomorrow. So we'll have two Central Falls home meets. Calcut and BVP will be competing at Central Falls High School tomorrow and on Wednesday and on Thursday at 4 p.m.
Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, Colleen was involved in it. I just want to, I got there late, I apologize. The special event for the special needs, Special Olympics was a success. The gym was packed, and I know they all had a good time. And congratulations, Colleen, for your part.
I didn't know about it.
They sent emails us.
Yeah.
I knew that, I actually forgot, I got a call, but it was almost over, it was over when I got there. Better late than never. Anyone else looking for a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Councilman Solano, second by Councilman Figueroa. We stand adjourned at 7:12.